Well, we're talking about Sony again today because they just can't help themselves. This isn't about PlayStation Network, though. This is about censorship. So, Stellar Blade, pretty big release. A lot of people seem happy with the game, and if you're enjoying it, I'm happy for you. I don't like that they censored the game last minute. Shift Up, kind of a little shady of them to say the game is uncensored, and then censoring the game at the same time as making that post. They would have had to, because you don't just make changes like they made to the game in an hour. It takes a little bit of time to do something like that. At least a couple weeks or a week, I would think, or even 2 or 3 days. But they made that uncensored Stellar Blade post. What was it? It felt like 2 or 3 days before the release of the game, and then the game comes out censored. So when they made that post saying the game would be uncensored in every region, they were actively censoring the game behind the scenes for release, which is bullshit. And that's my problem with Stellar Blade. But I don't blame Shift Up as much as I blame Sony. Sony loves censoring, particularly Eastern-drawn women. They do it all the time with anime characters. And we have another example of that right now with this game, Tsukihime, A Piece of Glass Moon. Now, this is a little funny because they didn't, as far as I can tell from reading this article, they didn't censor the actual game. What they did was censor the collector's edition. So this game is going to have a limited edition physical release, and in it, there is a book, and they decided to force this company to censor 2 pages of the book. And what's funny about this, and this actually happens quite a bit, the Nintendo Switch version, good to go. No censorship in the physical limited edition for the Switch. But if you buy the PlayStation 4 version, you're getting a censored art book. You know who made them do this? Sony. But, it's okay. Abby can get a mo-capped sex scene. That's all good. I'm, of course, talking about Last of Us Part 2, where manly Abby was bent over in the game at the end. And the guy that did it to her looked like Neil Druckmann, too, which was funny. But that's a whole nother conversation. The point is, they're okay with that, but not this. And it's a kind of a common thing with Sony now when it comes to these Eastern female characters. In this case, we can just go ahead and say anime characters, because I don't think Eve is an anime character. She looks like she's out of Final Fantasy for sure, but I wouldn't call her like 2D anime. And these are the kinds of characters that Sony loves to censor. I don't know why, but when it comes to anime-based games, they love to put their boot all over it. And they're doing it again here. So here's what the company released. Notice regarding the English release of Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon. Due to differing platform publishing policies, the art book included in the physical limited edition for PlayStation 4 will be printed with graphic modifications to 2 pages, while the art book included in the physical limited edition for Nintendo Switch will be printed without the modifications. Despite these adjustments to the PlayStation 4 art book, the game will remain unaltered for both PS4 and Nintendo Switch. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your support of the game. Yeah, this is crazy to me as someone who grew up during the console wars. Nintendo used to be pretty damn restrictive, and Sega would just let shit roll. The best example of this is the first Mortal Kombat game, where there was no blood in the Nintendo version. I think there was Green Blood or something. Maybe I don't fully remember. I never played the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat 1. Played it on Sega, like everybody else did. But Nintendo used to be really quite the prude-ass company, and they've changed and walked all of that back. PlayStation has kind of become the new Nintendo in a lot of ways when it comes to censorship, which is wild. It's wild to think about that. And, you know, this doesn't affect a lot of people. This is only going to affect the people who buy the physical limited edition. The games themselves are unaltered. But it's just another example, after so many, of Sony censoring these kinds of games. This is a visual novel game, by the way. And they have censored a lot of those. They're all anime-looking characters. It's just crazy to me. Like I would love to see a list of all of the anime games that they've censored, because there's a lot of them. And, you know, considering that Sony used to be in Japan, it's even more crazy. Sony, by the way, in case you did not know, moved their entire entertainment division to somewhere in California, I think San Francisco. But either way, it's not Sony of America. It's Sony now. They're all in America. I don't know about Sony. So I don't know if they have any offices in Japan anymore, but Sony Entertainment is based in California now. And ever since they moved there, they have really just put a stick in their own ass when it comes to shit like this. But that is yet another story of Sony censorship, and I'm sure there will be more. It's still crazy to me that if you want the uncensored version of something, like a game like this or something related to it, you got to get it on Switch. We live in an age where Nintendo is a little bit more friendly when it comes to shit like this. It's still crazy to me. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.